Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and the Frankie Smith Funeral Home.
Hello friends, welcome to Fairfield Today. I'm your host Paul Jasson. Thank you for joining us. Got a kind of a fun show, talk about a couple different segments here. We're going to kind of wrap up in the second segment of the show about the Lancaster Campground. Just had their big grand reopening of the Davis Auditorium. We'll bring in Shirley Wassam. She'll kind of give you a wrap up of all went out there, and it's a many-year project that finally came to kind of an end there. There are other things going on, but the Davis Auditorium is up and running. We'll talk to her about that. So that'll be in the second half of the show. And when I mentioned The Longest Day, I guess, I think of a movie. It was a John Wayne movie, a great movie about D-Day, 1944. That's what I think of. But second thing is it's June 21st, because that is thought of as the longest day, the most sunshine. But what it's come to represent in the last several years, at least here in Lancaster and Fairfield County, is the Alzheimer Association has jumped on that theme, which is the longest day, and it has to do with Alzheimer's, and they put together a great day of programming. Each year they do it, and it's always fun to have Jody Amspaugh with us to talk about that. And today we're very fortunate from Fairhope Hospice to have the lovely Rick Schneider with us. Rick, good to have you here, brother. Good
Paul,
to have you here.
I always enjoy talking to you. You usually interview us at the
downtown. That'll be coming up here probably in another month or so. We'll be down there talking about it. But Fairhope Hospice is one of the big guns in this longest day program with the Alzheimer Association. And Jody, you're with Home Helpers, and you're involved in this, and this has become really a major event.
Yeah, it really has.
Yeah. What's your part in this? What as a home helper kind of person, how does this fit your scheme?
It's just something that we deal with daily with our clientele. I would say, a huge percentage of our people have Alzheimer's or dementia or something that's related to that.
You see that a lot.
Yeah, so it hits home, and that's why we're glad to be a part of it and just help do this fun event and get together and do this every year.
And Rick, this is kind of right up you folks' alley out there at Fairhope Hospice. You deal with this type of thing more than most of us will ever understand.
Absolutely, and we really rely on Jody and Home Helpers because they more or less see people as they're changing their health as it deteriorates. And they can ask us questions. At what point do you think they need a little more help? And, Jody and her staff are very good at identifying things like that. And that's the nice thing about home agencies. They can go into the home, and in the home, you don't have time to doll yourself up when you go to the doctor. Nice clothes, nice everything. Jody's group can see maybe the house cleaning isn't doing as good. Maybe the hygiene isn't as good. They can see changes as a doctor would.
Right there, and I'm sure you see some of that going on frequently.
Yeah, when we see a decline, it's a really good way for us to bring in another agency and reach out to Fairhope and say, there's a lot of changes going on here. We think they're going to be suitable for
So
hospice.
sometimes you might be the first group to kind of see this, that things are changing. And
Yeah.
then there are other agencies like Fairhope Hospice or whoever it might be, Meals on Wheels, whoever it might be out there that you would contact them and kind of work in conjunction.
Yeah. If we see there's a need that we're not able to meet or that there's something that could help this family more, that's what we're going to do. We're going to reach out and see how can we help them with another agency.
And there are, excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt her, but there are parameters. We can't accept somebody if they're not appropriate.
Sure.
So, we're not like we're out looking for business, but we're listening to Jody and what she says.
Everybody works in concert, and whatever the needs are, she would contact you or whoever
we all
it is.
work together, and it's for the betterment of the families and the community, honestly, just see what we can do for them.
Well, it's June 21st coming up here in a couple of weeks. It's on a Friday right behind us here, actually, on the bandstand down here, and the longest day event, and again, it really deals with Alzheimer's. And as I think of Alzheimer's, of course, growing up, I don't think I ever knew anybody, at least as a young person. Maybe they had it, and I just wasn't aware of it as a kid. It's not like cancer. I don't remember anybody having cancer necessarily when I was a young person. But now, certainly cancer, every family is touched by that, and almost as many
Yeah.
with Alzheimer's. And I will say this about that, the families that I know, fortunately we haven't had it in our family, but the families that I know, the people that I know, what a traumatic disease it is. Certainly for the person, but I think often of the caregivers
Yeah.
and the people that have to work with that and the people that you all have to deal with. It's very hard on those folks.
It is.
You know, when you solve a problem, you create one, and I think you see so much dementia and Alzheimer's now is because we're so good at curing illness that used to cause death.
Maybe that's it.
Even cancers used to be within a month or two, depending,
Yeah.
boom, and now we can cure, we can subdue it, and then as people get older, then it's, other things pop up. And the thing about dementia is it is documented as we can watch somebody change, where you just get a little forgetful, you lose things, and you start really forgetting names, and then you lose track of where you are. And I hate to lose those things. Wow, I'm 90% there already.
Yeah, I understand. My wife and I go to the same doctor, and my wife asked him about it because we all have those forgetful moments that you've indicated, but she indicated to him, he says, am I losing it here? Am I going down? And his comment on it, he's a very smart guy, he's a good doctor. He said, as long as you care about it, and when you make mistakes and forget things, if it bothers you, you're in pretty good shape.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you don't care about that anymore, or it doesn't register with you that this is ongoing and it's concerning, that now's the time that you might not even be aware of it. Maybe another family member can see it.
Yeah.
I know I took a memory test. I had a seizure, and they went through a whole bunch of neurological tests. One of them was memory. And they would give you a silly word and then give you a bunch of math problems or something. And I still remember mine's purple cow. So if she's listening, purple cow, I remember. So
You're still on board.
I wrote it down real quick.
But Jody, tell us about this day. What's going to go on behind us here? What is it, 11 to 3 behind us?
Yeah.
What will be going on those 4 hours?
So we start the day with ribbon cutting, and the chamber's going to be involved with that.
The mayor is
mayor
going to have Mayor Scheffler is going to be there. Good.
And then throughout the day we'll have different acts. They're so kind to leave the stage up for us because it happens to fall right in line with the other events going on downtown with the Friday night bandstand. So
Good.
that's the awesome thing with it being a Friday this
Nice.
week. This year. And so we have Susan's Tap in Tow. We have Alley Park doing outdoor education.
That'll be nice.
Bringing animals and things
That'll
like
be
that.
nice,
Yeah, and
yeah.
just identifying. And then Fred Astaire is going to do a dance
Fun time.
thing for us. And we have drawings and raffles. We'll have Madison, and then we also have
did you
Jimmy
say
Jawbreaker.
fish?
Yeah.
Everybody-
that's
And then we
where you
have
turn.
Jimmy Jawbreaker's going to be there.
Nice.
So
Jamie will be there
Yeah,
and
so we've
everything.
got a lot of fun things going on, and just all to raise money and awareness, and just in a nice, fun atmosphere. So if you're going through this, it's a good time to come down, be with other people who can talk to you about this, and then have fun too and help support it.
I forgot to mention, I can do a killer coin trick. I could come down on stage, and it only takes a minute.
You got 4 hours to fill with this, right?
I'll do
I'm
it
not
slow.
sure. Okay. When you say raise awareness on this with Alzheimer's, what exactly would you like people to know about Alzheimer's? Is there one thing, is there just, if you see somebody going through it, there's help?
I just want people to know if you're going through this, you're not alone, and there are so many resources. Fairfield County is a huge blessing. It's totally blessed with a lot of resources, and the way these places come together and work together, it's amazing. It's not in every community like this. So come down. We're here together, and you're not in it alone. And there's help, there's support, and there's a lot of different resources that can help you. So.
I think that's important, and Rick, you probably see that when in your aspect of it from the hospice side, knowing that they're not in this alone, that there's people out there that can give you support, that there's groups, there's agencies you can contact. It's just not about you staying at home and then dealing with it at home. That used to be the way it was. I'm sure there was a time when if the husband got it, the wife, that's your problem, or the kids, but now it's a village of people that can help.
Well, and that's the thing. People need to know they're not alone, and if they, and many times they quit being a spouse and start being a caregiver, and anger and resentment comes up, and they feel guilty naturally. But 24/7, And that's what the support you get with everybody who's there. And then you understand, and somebody's got a trick. Somebody does something, and you find out Jody's group can sometimes help. When they're on our service, we can help. So there is service or help available.
And that's probably your aspect of it too, that there are things you can do, but when it gets beyond that,
Yeah.
that you can point them in the right direction.
There are wonderful facilities here in town that can help out if that's the right direction.
Yeah.
You know, there's just so many different resources. The Alzheimer's Association will be there. They can talk to them, tell them about support groups. Their facilities here in town can talk to them. You know, home care might be the place for them, or hospice may be the thing. But come down and figure it out.
Is there a website or anything they can look? I think when I got some information on it, I think I went with Alzheimer's and
Yeah.
Longest Day.
Yes.
Something like that. I looked that up and searched that. But is there a better one, or is that how to go?
That, or you can go to, I know it's on Rick's website and my website as well. So
Give us yours.
homehelpershomecare.com/Lancaster. We have it posted there.
Okay.
And then,
We're fairhopehospice.org, O-R-G.
Org, yeah.
Yeah, we have help,
Yeah.
and we can spin people in the right direction as well.
And, it just kind of jogged my memory a little bit. I can remember the first time, at least as an adult, I was running a business, and a couple came in, and he was in a wheelchair. So I thought, well, got some issues here. I didn't know what they were. And there was a little interaction at the cash register, and something happened that this guy got it messed up or something, and the woman kind of flipped out. And I don't think I did anything here. What happened? Well, so they go out and move into the other place in the business, and she comes up to me and apologizes to me because this was Alzheimer's or dementia, and I almost had never heard of that. I didn't know what it was, and now she's the caregiver, but she's pretty much in this alone, and she's kind
Yeah.
of sinking, I think, right here. It's just her and him, and this has been 25 years ago, so there wasn't all this good stuff that you guys
Yeah.
can do. So I'm sure she's thinking, man, it's just rough out here.
And one of the sad things we've seen is that the kids, the parent no longer recognizes them. And there becomes resentment. And that's not my mom. My mom was vibrant. My mom used to take care of me. And we see a lot of dynamics going on which affect everybody.
Sure.
And even the extended family, they expect the siblings or whoever it is to do everything, and they're out here. So there is a lot of things that happen, and they're all natural. And that's why we're talking about support groups allow you to talk to other people who have been there. The cousins, nephews, the sister-in-laws, all those people are also affected. But everybody's too busy or something. And I don't know what I'd do. I've not been in that situation.
Sure.
But there's a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's Friday, June 21st, coming up here in less than a couple of weeks. Right behind us in the bandstand area, what they call Zane Square bandstand, right, with the gazebo and everything right behind us right here. It starts at 11, goes to 3. As Jody talked about, the mayor's going to be there at 11 with a nice ribbon cutting, the chamber, and they've got various things, Susan's Tap and Toe. There'll be some animals there for the kids. Again, it's really a fun time for the young people. Not they have food and crafts, live music. Got something planned for everybody here. It'll be a fun day.
Yeah, really fun,
Looking fun
and come out, bring your money, and help support Alzheimer's.
And that's really what it's about.
It
is
is. 100% of everything that we raise that day will be turned over and for the Central Ohio Alzheimer's Association. So it's a good cause.
Well, it's Jody Anspaugh with Home Helpers, and then Rick Schneider with Fairhope Hospice out there, two of the big sponsors on this. And again, you can go to either of their websites. What was yours again?
homehelpershomecare.com/Lancaster.
Lots of good information on this, Rick.
We're fairhopehospice.org.
Again, agencies that you can count on that will do such a great job on this. It's the longest day, and again, that's June 21st, which truly is the longest day in terms of light and that, but it's just a natural time. It's Friday this year, right behind us at the bandstand from 11 to 3. So we hope for good weather. That's the only thing y'all can't control.
We always have rain, so maybe this year.
We'll put Rick in charge of
Like
that.
Fairfield. Yeah, I'll watch for the rain.
Yeah.
That's my job.
So if it's the longest day, we know we'll have some rain sometime. Just like Muirfield, is that
You know
what
who
you're
to
saying?
blame. Yeah, Muirfield and us, guaranteed for the farm.
Well, we appreciate Jody and Rick joining us today on Fairfield Today. And gosh, best of luck on this. It's a worthwhile endeavor, and certainly something that people can go down and get lots of great information on. So good luck with that.
Thank you.
Good. We'll be back in just a moment on Fairfield Today.
The Frank E. Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our 2 locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster or 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
All right, welcome back to Fairfield today. Thank you for rejoining us. And again, we're in the lobby downtown of Fairfield Federal. And when we move into this summertime of the season, we hit June and July and August, really is summertime out here. Of course, the festival's a couple of months away yet. We've got that going on. But something that occurs every Friday night here behind us at the bandstand is the Friday Night Bandstand, sponsored by Fairfield Federal and Lancaster Parks and Recreation. So the good folks here at Fairfield Federal behind us for so many great years, and 2019 is going to be another banner year. I've got these guys live, classic rock from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. That'll be coming up this week, but it goes through August 16th with just a couple of Friday nights off for the Lancaster Festival. Later on, they got the community band. Another one I look forward to is British Invasion. They've got some, Mike Tharp works very hard on this and getting this all set up. So it's a Friday night bandstand sponsored by these good folks at Fairfield Federal. They do such a great job of really community involvement. And again, that's part of being a local organization, a local bank that the people live here, the decisions are made here. And we talk about that when we talk about all their banking things. But it holds true with what they do in the community too. They're a very great neighbor and a blessing to almost anybody that comes and needs something for some scholarship or some fundraising thing. You can almost always count on Fairfield Federal. Everybody does such a great job here. So I would just certainly highlight the Friday night bandstands, and it's been going on for a couple weeks. And again, coming up this week, these guys live, classic rock from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Look forward to that. As I mentioned earlier, kind of wanted to bring to a little close in the chapter of the Lancaster Campground. Just a few weeks ago, they had the grand reopening, as I saw it on the reader board out there. That's what they called it, the grand reopening of the Davis Auditorium. My guess is if you think about the Lancaster Campground and the Davis Auditorium, the third phrase that comes to mind is Shirley Wassam. Shirley's been involved in this for so many years and made this come to a close and a fruition with really a wonderful reopening ceremony a few weeks ago on a Sunday. It was just a wonderful time.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, it was pretty neat out there. Shirley headed it up, and there were so many people that got thanked and mentioned in groups, and you heard things. I think of that, the one that stuck me with Sherwin-Williams, how much they helped. Had they not been there to do all that, I mean, thousands and thousands of dollars and man hours to put paint on, and they did it and got it done. But again, that's kind of what you saw for years and years. People in the community stepped up when they were asked.
Absolutely, and that's one of the big things I wanted to mention today, Paul, was another big thank you to this community, because I know I was pretty nervous on the day of the grand opening, to say the least, plus very emotional, and it still is kind of hard to believe that it all came together, and it was 8 years for me being a part of it, and so it was a very emotional day. So I'm sure I forgot people, and so forgive us.
People weren't in it for the recognition.
No.
You know that you were not, and all
Right.
the people that work for you, and all the volunteers, people like Fairfield Federal went out there and sent work teams out there and did things. There were so many, just really a community-wide effort in terms of getting grants and getting businesses and individuals and groups stepping up. It was just ongoing and all the work you did. But I think one thing we want to mention here, even though you've had the grand opening, now it's officially underway again. And again, it looks great. And I can tell you, I remember going out there a lot of times when it was the old auditorium, freestanding, and now you have these great big iron girders out there. But I don't even see them. When I look out there, I don't even see them. I don't even think about they're there.
That's exactly what we were hoping for. And that's the reason they're painted exactly the same color as the wall all around. Because
they
everybody
don't stand out at all.
Right. Everybody wanted us not to do that. But
Sure.
according to the engineer, we could not, because one of those huge trusses had a nice little S in it. And so for the protection of the building and keeping it from swaying back and forth and whatever, the magnitude of it is
looks-
so large.
It looks great. in
This
there.
had to go in there. So.
I don't think people would even know it's not the same as it was before. And anybody that's never been in there, it just looks like it's always in there. It's a great job.
Right.
But something we want to bring up there is that really there's a little more work yet to be done on this place.
Right. And the main thing right now is, of course, it's been raining a lot, but the roof is about 30 years old, and it's a shingle roof, and so we're starting to have various places where
Sure.
we're having
It's
water
time.
come in.
It's time.
And we knew this. We were told this. So we've put so much effort on the inside, and we meaning the whole community, and outside the community with their work and their time and their talents, that we don't want to damage anything that's already been
Sure.
fixed up and painted
Sure,
up and cleaned
sure.
up and whatever. So we do need a new roof. And so it seems like everywhere I go, I've always got my hand out. And every time I talk to you, it's always, okay, it's always about the green stuff.
Yeah.
But to put a roof on, I'm being told it's going to be anywhere from $60,000 to $80,000. So it's kind of another expense. And we have kind of, we've asked and asked and asked for grants and things. And so we really hope that we will be able to get this roof on.
Well, how can people, if they still feel maybe they haven't had an opportunity or they just heard about it and they say, oh, I didn't know that, I wish I knew. Well, now they know. How can
Okay.
somebody still get involved?
Well, one of the things we're doing is that because it's 124 years old and there's lots of legacies behind it and lots of emotions involved, we're doing a plaque sort of opportunity where you can put a plaque on the end of the pew. Perhaps when you were there on Sunday, you saw some of those. That's in memory of,
Yeah.
and then you put the person's name on and whatever, given by and the date, or in honor of. So we're putting those plaques on there for $200 a piece, and they'll be on there forever. So that's another historic
Sure.
part of the auditorium.
Sure.
And then we're also continuing our Kroger rewards, and we have a form that you can use if you do have a computer or you do not have a computer, and that's a pretty simple thing. You just go to the grocery store and do your usual shopping, and 5% of everything that you spend goes directly back to the auditorium project. Doesn't involve your gas points or anything. It's just all you need is the number on that little Kroger
Sure.
card.
Yeah.
And then thanks to Shane, the gentleman who's filming us as we speak now, has done an outstanding job putting together a progress video that showed the auditorium almost at its very worst, and then the process throughout to what it is today. So that was pretty overwhelming. I saw a couple people with their mouths wide open as
Pretty amazing.
that video started.
Nice.
Shane,
So that's available for people
that is
now?
available for purchase if you're interested in that. I'll give you my telephone number and
We'll show that
an
on the
address.
screen, how they can do that. But how
Okay.
do they do it? They need
So-
to call you?
They can call me, or they can send it to the request to the campground, Lancaster Campground, 2151 West Fair Avenue, Unit 195.
Okay. And then call them if they
And
want any
now-
more information too.
Right. Well, yes, or basically call me.
How do they get those
I-
blanks?
Those blanks are available. We can send them to them, or
Okay.
we can just send them the video. The other video is the actual grand opening, the reopening ceremony. We had that videoed as well.
Nice.
And so that's about, that'll be about an hour and 15-minute, 20-minute program. So that will also be available to those who missed it. I know graduation took a lot of our people that day.
There were actually,
and
that day there were some.
there were 4 graduations that particular day
Yeah.
at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then people had graduation parties. And so a lot of people had to miss it that wanted
It
to
was
be
still
there.
a nice crowd, though.
Yes,
It was still a good
we
crowd
had
out
approximately
there.
300 people there,
Yeah,
which
that was nice.
very.
And again, but so some things are still needed. You
Yes.
still have an opportunities there for people that want to help.
So those are 4 different ways that they can get involved if they still would like
Okay.
to. And I also really want to invite people to come. It's open now. The summer program will be starting or will have already started June the 2nd
Right.
And so there'll be speakers there from all over the
Now, will they be in the
community.
auditorium speaking, or are they in the temple?
Yes. Most of the services are going to be in the auditorium this
Okay.
summer.
Okay.
So plenty of places to sit, obviously, and plenty of parking around the area there. So the cafeteria will also be open on Sunday following
That's right.
the services.
After Memorial Day, that opens
It
up each
opens up
Sunday, and
each
they're
Sunday.
great meals out there too.
Homemade
We go out
cooking.
there great. Oh my, it's wonderful cooking and just nice camaraderie to sit in a nice calm venue out there. And again, it's always well attended. People in the community come out there and enjoy that.
Exactly. And it opens at 11:30 each Sunday, and it's open till 1:30. Now, I would suggest you not wait till then because
Yeah.
the choices get rather limited.
There's only
And,
so much
yes.
there. Yeah, the
Yes,
women
it's-
only fix so much.
It's hard to guess how many is going to be coming
Yeah.
to dinner because you don't know how many is
I
going
love
to
the
be
ham
coming.
loaf. They do certain things out there that I think are particularly good.
Yes, the ham loaf was one of the popular
Ooh, I like
things.
that.
Some
I
people
like
just
that.
actually call in and find out
Is
when
this the
is that
Sunday
going to
break?
be
I-
ham loaf
I understand
day.
that. I don't blame them.
So that's another opportunity for the community, and the Davis is also going to be open for rentals. If if you're planning a wedding, or you want to have a concert, or you want to do something there, they are going to obviously be charging a fee simply because of the fact that there's maintenance and we have to get that
Sure.
new roof on there.
Sure.
But again, I just can't thank the community enough for all the involvement and all the tremendous support that we have had, especially my 8 years of working with it. It's just been incredible. And Paul, you've been wonderful having us
Yeah,
on,
it's-
keeping
it's-
us
it's
in
always-
the media.
It's always good to get that out there. One thing I was interested in too, we've got a couple minutes here, but the keynote speaker was Davis's son-in-law. He was back, and his wife, who was the daughter there. I was wondering her thoughts on that. Did she have some memories or anything she shared with you?
Her mind was constantly rolling, and she said it just brought back, so it gives me
What was her
goosebumps
name?
just Carol.
Carol.
Gives me goosebumps just to talk about
Yeah.
it, and she was very emotional also.
That's great. I mean, what a day.
Yeah, we got to spend a little bit of time afterwards just chit-chatting over dinner, and it was difficult. I mean,
And one thing I wanted to mention too is we're talking about the Davises, and that's really what it was all about out there, Kurt and Charlotte. They were at my wife's parents' home for dinner. They ate there because they sang with them. The Canes, Doyd and Rhea Kane, were my in-laws, and they all sang together. And so they invited them to dinner. So my wife has good memories beyond all the times you saw them out there, but you actually got to eat with them. But again, what wonderful people they were.
oh, they were just incredible people, and I always felt it was a blessing to get to know them as people and not just listening to them over the radio.
Sure. Those are good
And
times.
so that was another motivator for me to be as involved as I was, because I just really honored their memory, and this was a great opportunity. And of course, Carol's been a great supportive, prayer-wise, and all types of things.
Give us your phone number again, so if you want to get information on donating to the roof or something out there, renting the place, or involvement in still getting a marker on the end of a pew, how do they do that?
Okay, and just call me at 740-654-5649. Or address of the Lancaster Campground is 2151 West Fair Avenue, Unit 195. And then we'll get the information to you and get the videos sent to you.
That'll get it done. Got
That'll
the
get it
videos
done.
out there that Interface and Shane did. Got videos and a couple different ones going on there. So really, still a way to help out and get involved, and
Right.
much needed on the roof especially.
Absolutely.
But Shirley Watson with
Absolutely.
the Lancaster Campground, again, it's been a great span. I hope you have some free time now to enjoy other things. You'll have free time. You'll fill it with something. I know you too well.
Well, it's been different. It was just kind of difficult to think about, what am I going to do Monday morning? I mean, there is lots to be done. And
Your
lots,
phone will be ringing,
yes,
so don't worry about that.
well, I'm sure of that. There's already been people asking me to do some
Shirley
things. so-
Wassam, who did so much, and again, the Davis Auditorium, Lancaster Campground. So Shirley, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Enjoy
Paul.
having you back. Thank
Appreciate you.
Thank you for joining us in Fairfield today.
Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and the Frankie Smith Funeral Home.